It's time for some more Flash, or Negative Flash. You see, recently the Flash gained negative powers, but we're going to explain exactly how that happened in the comic panels. I hope you guys enjoy. When we last left off with the Flash in Flash Rebirth, Barry Allen had gained new powers from Eobard-Thawne and the Negative Speed Force. He gained negative powers, and he discovered that he couldn't use them without potentially damaging or injuring other individuals. So he decided to stop using it, but it was also making him very irritable because everybody was just making him mad and making him realize that maybe things weren't going to be working out well for him very soon with these new negative powers. On top of that, evidence had gone missing, blood samples, and his team was tasked with figuring the whole situation out because they didn't want to get internal affairs involved. Realizing that he could probably figure out who was doing all of the stealing of evidence by going and looking at who had been checking out the evidence, Barry went to the labs, and that's when he discovered that there was a fire burning up all of the evidence. Realizing that he couldn't use his negative powers for fear of injuring the individuals that were trapped in the fire, he tried to carry them out, but that's when the exhaustion of these powers took their toll on him, and he passed out in the fire. While the firefighters started to put the fire out in the evidence room, Singh asks Barry if he knows just how important that was to the lab. Burns and Morrow, other individuals investigating the internal affairs situation and the missing evidence, warned him about going to the records room alone, but he still went anyway. And as Singh continues to yell at Barry, Barry gets up and he walks out. Singh runs out of his office shouting, "Yeah, do what you always do. Disappear when you're needed, Barry Allen. How did Iris put up with this for so long?" Barry stops and he looks at him. "What?" He turns around yelling, "I am so sick of your tough love crap. I've bailed you and this crime lab out so many times. Before I came here, your lab was a joke. If it wasn't for me, the streets would still be crawling with criminals." Forrest walks up telling him, "Hey now, all of us put in long hours just like you. None of the people here deserve what you're telling them." And Barry yells at him, "Oh, if it isn't the crime lab mascot just sitting there not contributing to the lab." Singh shouts, "I'm giving you one last chance to fix this, Barry." And Barry tells him, "Don't worry. If you're unhappy with my work, go ahead and fire me already." As he walks out, he thinks to himself that he didn't want to snap like that. He just keeps getting madder and madder. This has to be the negative speed force inside of him, dwelling, building up, just making him so angry. A little while later at Barry's office, Kristen walks in telling him, "That was fun. Look, a few years ago, my parents died in a car accident. After the funeral, my sister and I stopped talking. But when my friends caught up to me, I was acting out, and I told everyone that I was fine. And then, there was a call from the station, and I had to go identify my sister's body." Barry remains quiet, and Kristen says, "After all of that, I started paying attention to the unsaid things going on. So whatever you're going through, it's okay." And Barry tells her that it's not. He's not okay. Kristen stops him, telling him, "Don't hide. Don't push people away. You're not alone. We're all your friends here. We can all work with you, okay?" Later, Barry and Kristen look at the reports, and Barry says that someone has been stealing the blood samples, and Kristen tells him that's right. After speaking with the guards, they said that they were feeling like they were having a heart attack, so they didn't see who had started the fire. Barry flips through the reports saying that if they wanted to dispose of the blood, they would need to go where it wouldn't stand out, a place where you wouldn't think twice if you saw the blood. Barry thinks of the only place that this would be normal, the morgue. While Kristen was still putting this together, Barry takes a chance to run out of the room, and Kristen shouts, "Really?" Moments later, down in the morgue, Barry tells Ramsey that he won't let him destroy those blood samples. So put the evidence down, no one has to get hurt. Ramsey says someone always gets hurt. And then suddenly Barry starts to shout in pain. He asks, "What are you doing to me?" And Ramsey says, "I could do this job forever. But when you're a coroner, you start to see that it's all just a fantasy. Every body that I cut into in the name of justice makes me painfully aware of how vulnerable life really is." He then takes a scalpel and he presses it against his skin, not cutting it though. And he says, "Now, I'm invulnerable, never to bleed again." Ramsey then explains, "Growing up, I found out that I was a hemophiliac. The smallest cut could be a death sentence. So I needed to find a cure. And with my training as a coroner mixed with my medical understanding of my condition, it made me an expert in blood and how it works. A lot of criminals come into here, some being metahumans. So when people started to find out that someone was taking samples, I needed to protect myself." Ramsey kneels down telling him, "You know what? It was worth it. I'm beyond cured. However, there were some unforeseen side effects, like being able to control blood and make it burn." Barry struggles, telling him, "Stop!" And Ramsey says, "If you know about me, the cops must know too. So I might as well go out with a bang and kill you and everyone at the CCPD. Hearing those words jolts Barry out of his pain and he screams, "No!" And a black lightning bolt shoots out into Ramsey, throwing him outside of the building. As Ramsey's body crashes into the ground, people begin to shout, "It was the Flash! He just killed that man!" Barry walks out of the hole. "No, I didn't mean to. I think it's all because of the negative speed force. I'm no better than Thawne." Then Ramsey shouts, "All I wanted to do was to protect myself, and instead, you just jeopardized it. Now I need a cool name." Flash walks up to him telling him, "You're not a criminal." And Ramsey shouts back, "Get back!" As he goes, blood begins to grow out of him and it smacks into Barry and he yells, "The Flash is an infection inside of Central City and I'm the antibody." Barry tries to fight back against the blood and Ramsey tells him, "I won't be one of your victims. Blood work will make you the victim now." As Barry looks, he sees Ramsey now covered in veins, letting his blood flow. There's no more skin, just muscle, fiber, and blood. As the blood begins to spread, it grabs into the nearby people, and every movement that Barry makes destroys the veins, and more blood appears. While Barry tries to figure out a plan, Ramsey shouts, "This is all your fault! All I wanted to do was to protect myself." And Ramsey throws out more veins, and as they get close, Barry releases a shock, popping them. Barry yells, "I don't want to fight you!" And Ramsey begins to mutate, asking, "Then why do you keep attacking? Why can't you just let me go free?" Barry tells him, "Because that wouldn't be justice. You've hurt people." And Ramsey spreads more veins out yelling, "And I will kill every single person in the city if it means that no one will hurt me again." As the veins spread outwards, going into a spider formation, Ramsey shouts, "You don't know me. What could a superhero like you know about pain?" Barry notices the more that Ramsey gets upset, the quicker his blood flows, so he has to try something. Barry runs back telling Ramsey, "Look, we're more alike than you think. Right now, I've let all of the negativity in my life just build up until it exploded. I've lied to so many people who have trusted me, all because I thought it would protect them, but that was wrong. My lies have led to people getting hurt, and ever since then, I've been pushing people away because I don't want anyone to go through that. I'm not the hero that people think I am, so please, believe me when I say I know exactly what you're going through." Blood starts to wrap around Barry, and Ramsey asks, "Why should I trust you?" And Barry looks at the ground, telling him, "Just think about what I just said. I refuse to believe that you would wish to hurt anyone else." Ramsey pulls the Flash closer, asking, "How do we fix this?" And the Flash tells him, "We do it together. I'll do whatever it takes to help you." Ramsey's body begins to revert back to its previous form, and he asks, "Really?" And the Flash says, "Yes, after I stop you." The Flash grabs onto Ramsey's face, and suddenly there's a crack-a-coom, and a lightning strikes down, frying Ramsey. Ramsey is completely reverted to his human form, and he asks, "What did you just do?" The Flash lets the lightning strike down onto his veins, telling Ramsey, "I'm sorry. It was the only way, but I promise I will help you." Ramsey falls to his knees, his nervous system shocked to the point of stopping his blood from flowing, and soon came the end of blood work. Later, as Ramsey is brought into the station, Barry tells him, "We know you stole those samples." And Ramsey grins, telling him, "Well, where's your evidence?" Barry asks, "What?" And Ramsey tells him, "The Flash just destroyed the morgue when he fought that monster. I was just an innocent bystander in that battle, caught up in whatever the Flash was up to." Singh walks out telling him, "Actually, he's right. Without any evidence to prove it, Barry, we have to let him go." As Ramsey dangles his hands, he says, "Thank you. Now would you kindly remove these cuffs?" Before they can, Kristen runs up telling everyone to wait. Ramsey isn't as smart as he thinks. After some digging, he did burn all of the hard copies, but he left a digital fingerprint all over the records, which is more than enough for arrest. Singh takes the report and asks, "So, did Barry help?" And she tells him, "Yeah. Team effort. Barry Allen was here the whole time." Barry steps up telling them, "No, it wasn't. I'm not going to let you cover for me anymore. I left just as we were cracking the case. It was Kristen who solved it on her own." Singh flips through the pages and then points to his office telling both Barry and Kristen to get into it. Barry says, "Look, I know I messed up, but from this day forward, I'm going to do better. I'm going to work harder, Singh." Singh sighs. "Actually, we can't keep doing this. I had to transfer you out to Iron Heights Penitentiary. Kristen is going with you, Barry." Kristen shouts, "What? Why?" And Singh looks at her, telling her, "It was an opportunity." Kristen storms out of the office, and though Barry tells her that he's sorry, she doesn't even respond. Later that day, Barry watches Iris as she gets witness statements from people who watched the fight, and he thinks to himself that he needs to take it easy. He needs to be himself again. And then a voice shouts out, "Hey, Iris said she doesn't want to talk to you." The Flash looks over and sees Kid Flash, Wally, telling him, "And neither do I. I thought stalking was Thawne's thing." Barry tells him, "Whoa, I come in peace. The truth is I came to see you, and to give you this." The Flash holds out his Flash ring, and Wally asks why. And Barry tells him, "Because until I can find a way to control these negative Speed Force powers that Thawne possessed me with, I can't be the Flash anymore." And Wally then asks, "What about the other Wally? We ever going to talk about what his deal is?" And Barry says, "We will, but I have to take care of myself first." Wally looks at the ring and he says, I've been going through some hard times myself. It wasn't until now that I realized that part of it was because I was guilty of the same things that I was mad at you for. So no, I'm not giving up on you, and I will not be taking your ring. Just like when I got my Speed Force powers, you were there to help train me, so now I'm gonna be the one helping you to learn your powers. Let's get to training. And there you have it. He's now going to be working with Wally to learn how to control these powers. It's still a storyline that I'm enjoying, and while I have seen some people say they're kind of done with the negative Flash thing, for me, a guy who reads everything involving the Flash, it's a nice change of pace. I hope it lasts for a little bit longer. Anyway, the new CW show, Flash, just started with Season 4, and I want to know your opinions of the season premiere down below. Now, I did watch it and found it was okay. I wanted him to be missing for a little bit longer, but okay, we're back to the norm. He's here, he's going to be working with Team Flash again, and we're going to be dealing with the Thinker. But I want to know your opinions. What do you think about the Season 4 premiere of the show? Don't forget to check right here for the Flash playlist, over here for something recommended by YouTube, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Comicstorian. I'll see you next time right here.